Hey everyone, today we'll be making Final Selection. So this is episode 4 in my revised Demon Slayer game tutorial series, but you don't need to have watched the previous 3 episodes. This video will work whether you've watched them or not. So I'm going to start by showing you how this Final Selection will work, and then I'll go through the scripts and the GUI and everything. So I'll actually just show you one piece of code first. Over here I've got this variable called required time in final. For testing purposes, I've got this set to 10. For the actual game, I would set it to 60 times 24, which would be 1 day. If you want it to be 3 days, then I'd set it to times 3. But yeah, this just makes it so, for testing purposes, I'm going to make the required time you have to spend in Final Selection to only 10 seconds. So yeah, now we can press play here. And so normally we'd have the player spawn down there, and they'd have to walk all the way around here and up to this Final Selection pad, and once you step on it, it'll say go to Final Selection. Before I press yes, I'll just show you something in the workspace. We've got in my character a value called completed final. This is currently set to false because we haven't completed final. I'm going to say yes, and then you'll see that a in Final Selection value has appeared. So this just lets the server know that we're still in Final Selection. So you'll see that 10 seconds passed, and it'll say, you have passed Final Selection, congratulations. You'll see that completed final has set its value to true, and over here we've saved the player's data. So we've made a data store that saves the fact that they've finished Final Selection. So it means they don't need to complete Final Selection every time they come into the game. So what we can do with this value, once we've set it to true, and once they've completed Final Selection, then we can check this value every time we want them, every time they try to buy a Nichiren or get a breathing technique or something like that. So yeah, we can just press OK to dismiss this. If I press stop, and then I press play here again, and then if I open up the workspace and I go to my character, you'll see that completed final is set to true from before. So yeah, that's an overview of how my Final Selection works. Now we'll go into the scripts. So my first script is over in my main map. I've got this part, the Final Selection pad. That's just this pad over here, and I've got a script inside that called Final Selection. So inside Final Selection, the first thing we do is reference 3 remotes. So you'll see over in replicated storage, I've got a folder called remotes, and I've got 3 remote events here. So one's called enter Final Selection completed, and Final Selection prompt. These are all referenced here at the top of the script, and we'll be firing and receiving those later on. So first thing we've got is script.parent.touched::connect function hit prompt : fire client game.players hit.parent.name. So what this does is it fires the client, and the way we tell the game what client to fire is with this game.players hit.parent.name. These square brackets is basically like doing a dot, but it wouldn't make sense to do a dot here because game.players.hit.parent.name doesn't really make sense. So yeah, we've got to put it in square brackets. This is just hit.parent.name would be the hit, which is the humanoid, I think, or it might be oh no, it's probably the legs, because the legs are what touches the pad. So hit is the legs. The parent of the hit, the parent of the legs is my character, which is DvZoid, and then the name of that is DvZoid. So yeah, once that's touched, we'll detect that in a GUI, and I'll show you that later on. But over here we've got a variable called Final Selection location, and this is set to this C frame. So I'll just show you over here. I've got a folder called Final Selection and then Final Selection area. I've got a plugin that lets me press F to focus on this pad. So I press F. This is just my pad over here. If you scroll down here, see this position, that is actually equal to this here. So if you're gonna do this yourself, just make a area for Final Selection, make a spawn location for your Final Selection, get the position of it, copy it into a C frame, and you're good to go. And then we've also got start location, which is this Final Selection pad. I'll press F again. So yeah, Final Selection pad is this, and you'll see the position is that. It's the same as this start location variable. Then I've got this required time in final variable, which is what I went over before. And then I've got this event listener. So teleport.onServer event connect function player. This is a remote event that we're gonna detect being fired. Player.character set primary part cframe to final selection location that just teleports the player's character to final selection. Then we create the in final selection boolean value, and then we will wait 1 for so we set up a loop here. We've got a variable called I, and we have required time in final. So basically what it does is for required time in final, this code inside this inside this loop will repeat this many times. Whatever this variable is equal to, it'll repeat that many times. And the code that we're repeating is wait 1 second, and then we'll check if the player's character still has final selection in final selection as a child of it. Because if it doesn't, if the player's died and the value is removed, then we'll return out of this function, and we don't want to set their completed final values to true. Once this loop has finished, once it's iterated this amount of times, this 10 times, then we'll set the character's primary part cframe back to the start location, and we'll destroy their in final selection value. And then we'll set completed final to true, complete final.value equals true, and then we'll notify the player. So that's our main final selection logic script. The next script I'll show you is inside service script service, we've got final selection setup. So this is where we do our data stores and everything. So we've got local ds equals game colon get service data store service, pass final equals data store colon get data store past final selection. So this is just the name of our data store. And then we just detects when a player is added, detects when a character is added for that player, make a new value called completed final, and we'll set it to false by default. And then we've just got this ID that we set up, which is equal to player underscore and then the user ID. What we could do is go local ID equals player.name, because a player name is always unique, but this isn't actually that good, because if the player changes their name, then their data will get reset. The player user ID never changes, so that's alright to keep as the key for the data store. So then we get we see if the player has any data stored in this data store. If they do, then if value is true, then we'll set completed final.value equals equal to value. Else we'll warn that the data store failed to load the data. Over here, this is how we handle saving. So completed final.changed. Completed final is this completed final value. It'll be either true or false, but if it's changed, the only way it'll be changed is if it's changed to true. So we'll just do this. We'll use a pcall and then set the player's data store value in past final selection to true, and then the next time they come into the game, then this code here will execute, because success will be true and value will be true. So yeah, that's how we handle the saving of the completed final value. That's the server side of things. Now I'll show you the GUI, the prompts. So I've got two screen GUIs here. We've got final selection completed prompt and final selection prompt. So we'll go over the final selection prompt first. All it is I'll actually enable this for you. So it's just a frame, which is the larger box, and then a UI corner, which just rounds the corner. Then we've got cancel, which is this X in the corner. Under this, we've got another UI corner. Then we've got yes, which is just another button, and text label, which is go to final selection. So inside this final selection prompt, we've got 3 scripts. This first one here is it gets final selection prompt. So if we go back to this final selection script that we went over first, you'll you'll see that this final selection prompt, that's this one prompt, this event is fired whenever the player touches the pad on the in the workspace. So if we touch the pad, then this will fire the player, and then we'll pick it up here. So remote on client event connect script.parent.enabled equals true. So that just sets this this makes this GUI visible. So over here enabled, if it's false, then you won't be able to see it. If it's true, then you will be able to see it. And then we've got the cancel. So the cancel local script.parent.activated connect function script.parent.parent.parent.enabled equals false. That just makes this GUI invisible again. And then we've got our yes local script. This has another remote called enter final selection. You'll see that's the same as teleport. So this remote will be fired whenever the yes button is clicked. And then we'll detect it in this script over here, teleport.onSer event, and that's when all this code over here is executed. So that's our final selection prompt. Now we've got our final selection completed prompt. So here we've just got, I'll enable this, so I'll disable this one, and I'll enable this screen GUI. So we've got a frame, we've got a UI corner, we've got an OK text button, we've got another UI corner and the text button, we've got a local script there, and a text label that says you have passed final selection, congratulations. So I'll open up this script first. This is basically the same as the other script, except it's just got another remote that is being detected. And then over in here we've got our OK. This is simple. We just need to, whenever we press OK, we just set this GUI back to disabled. So no server interaction with this one, apart from this script when we detect the remote being fired. So I'm pretty sure that's everything. And I've showed all the scripts. I'll show them once again. So I'll just zoom out. So that's the whole script. The final selection setup. This is a script in server script service. This is final selection. This is a server script inside a part in the workspace, which is where your final selection. Wait, no, it's a part inside the final selection pad. So the teleporting pad in your workspace. That's what this script is part of. And then this is a local script inside a bunch of screen GUIs. So I'll just open these up again so you can get a look at that. So yeah, this is the whole opened up Explorer, and then these are the 5 local scripts. So we've got this one. Actually, I'll show you. So this local script is this one. 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 And this local script is this one. And yep, those are all the local scripts. So yeah, that was just a quick overview of my my final selection that I've created. So all the scripts have been shown in the video, so you can copy them down. If I'm feeling nice, I might make a model and put it on my Discord. But otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, then I'd appreciate a sub or a like. It helps keep me motivated to make more videos like these. And until next time, see ya.